Ed Klein joins us, former editor-in-chief of the New York Times Magazine, author of the new bestseller, Unlikable, The Problem with Hillary Clinton. Ed, welcome aboard. You're with Dick Morris and Rick Unger and, of course, moi. How are you, sir?
I'm in great company. I'm very happy to be with you all.
Well, it's good to talk to you. All right, so how did Hillary come off to you during the part of the debate that you witnessed?
Well, I watched the whole debate. Of course, it's still going on, as you know. And my feeling is if you're an average citizen watching this debate, if you could bear to spend, 2 hours and not fall asleep, what you come away with are a couple of things. One is that everybody's to the very far left in the Democratic Party, despite the Glass-Steagall and fly zones and all that sort of stuff. They're all in favor of giving more stuff, free stuff to people, very much in favor of climate change and all that stuff.
So you think Hillary came off as far left?
I thought she did. Yes, I thought she was, you know, saying that she agrees with Bernie on almost everything, and she was trying to take him down at the beginning of this debate. In my view, she was hitting him on being a socialist, hitting him on his stand on guns, but then she kind of forgot to do that in the second half of the debate, and she went after the Republicans a lot.
Well, there was a reason for that, Ed, because Bernie said nobody gives a darn about it. Nobody wants to hear about her damn emails anymore. So I think
that got the biggest applause of the night.
Yeah. So Ed, I want to ask you: has she come off as likable? Has she helped herself in this debate in that area?
I don't think she's hurt herself at all. I thought she looked pretty good. She was well prepared on almost every subject, except when Anderson Cooper asked her, what's the greatest threat to America? And I don't think somebody ever asked her that question, so she didn't memorize the answer.
Well, she also was asked, how will you be different than Obama? And she said, isn't it obvious? I'm a woman. I think that was pretty bad, too. But, Dick, so you disagree, Dick, with Ed Klein?
Well, I think we're judging by different standards.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think
we are.
Ed
Exactly,
is
Dick.
looking at the debate and saying who looked good, who did a good job, how did Hillary come across, and all of that. And clearly, Hillary came across, as always, as bright, articulate, focused, forceful, and sometimes even eloquent.
I agree with you, Dick.
But I don't think that matters as much as the underlying issue construct. The important point about a debate is that it outlines what the race is about. And ultimately, those issues, particularly in a Democratic primary, where there's a strong agenda-driven vote, those issues will become the most important factors in the race. And I think
here's where I agree with Dick entirely. If I can
Sanders really helped himself and really hurt Hillary.
Go ahead.
I think there's where I agree with Dick entirely. I think Sanders did help himself a lot in this debate. First of all, the socialist, that label was no longer so scary after you watch him for a while. He's in favor of being a good American. And he obviously is full of enthusiasm, talks from the heart, and is amusing. He's engaging. He's at least the most engaging person on the stage. And that is very important in terms of his popularity in the polls vis-a-vis Hillary and the primaries coming up.
Guys, I gotta say it. I'm the only Democrat on the panel, and what I'm hearing, first of all, I thought for the first time in my life, Ed Klein and I were agreeing. That's a momentous, wonderful moment. And then what I heard was two people who don't like Hillary Clinton very much trying to get on the same page.
You mean Dick and Ed?
Yeah.
Well, but they're coming at it from two different angles.
They aren't.
Expressed. Sure they are.
No, they aren't.
Ed was talking about likability, and Dick was talking about from a political
I'm sorry,
point
but I
of view.
heard Ed say in his opening remarks that they were all about even. They all did just fine. And then that's not what Dick said. So, it's okay. I'm just pointing out that I'm
Well,
hearing...
maybe you didn't hear me very clearly. That's always possible.
Nah, my hearing's still okay. It's going, but it hasn't gone yet.
All right.
Look, I think that this debate will be seen in the history of politics as big a defeat for Hillary as the Nixon-Kennedy debate was for Nixon in 1960. This debate will be the turning point in this election because it put Bernie Sanders on the map in a positive, strong way. He made a very attractive, very appealing case, and he set up the key points of disagreement with Hillary, which with the exception of guns, all worked very strongly in his favor. And Hillary now is going to have to play defense on Wall Street, on the top 1%, on Glass-Steagall, on No Fly, and all of that. And she's running as if there's still a center to the Democratic Party. There is not.
All right, let's listen to another question here. This is to Bernie Sanders. He was asked, I believe, if he's a capitalist. Let's watch.
You don't consider yourself a capitalist, though. Do I consider myself part of the casino capitalist process by which so few have so much and so many have so little, by which Wall Street, greed and recklessness wreck this economy? No, I don't. I believe in a society where all people do well, not just a handful of billionaires.
I mean, Dick, that's Elizabeth Warren's answer. I mean, that's got to play, as we talked about, to the base, much more so than Hillary's answers on those questions, as you alluded to earlier.
That's a very good point, Steve. Sanders has now replaced Warren in that space, and that's very important.
Yeah, I would still argue that you guys overestimate the base. I really do think so. You can see it in the numbers. Look, that answer for most Americans isn't going to fly, and it's why Bernie Sanders will never be president of the United States. Yes, he'll likely win New Hampshire. I think we probably all agree on that. I don't think that he did so well that he's going to win Iowa, and he's going to get stopped in South Carolina because they don't like this kind of talk.
Yeah, Ed, go ahead. Go ahead, Ed.
South Carolina.
I'm sorry.
Dick, I'm sorry, Dick, go ahead.
All hinge on what Obama does and Biden does. If Biden gets into this race, the black vote is going to desert Hillary, and she will she will not win South Carolina.
No disagreement if he gets in.
Ed, you've talked about and written a lot about the fact that there's a war between the Clinton family and the Obama family, and that on all different levels they've been pushing and hoping and prodding Joe Biden to run. Where do you stand on that right now? What do you predict will happen? Because
I was thinking that if I was Barack Obama watching this, I would be laughing so hard I'd be falling off my chair, because Hillary tried to close the gap between her and Obama so much that there was no air between them.
True.
She kept on saying, he was doing a great job, and that he chose her as his Secretary of State, even though she voted for the Iraq War, that they were basically good buddies, which, of course, is absolutely the opposite of the truth.
Well, they were all doing that, weren't they, Ed? I mean, obviously Obama's ratings among Democrats, obviously not among everybody in the country, are very, very high. They're in the 80s. There was no upside to them
but Hillary
to
was
go
lying
against them.
and the others weren't.
Right. Dick, let me ask you this. Are you surprised that, at least until we hit air, at least, I think Trump's name came up only once, and that might have been from O'Malley or from one of the others saying, or Chafee saying, calling him a cartoon character. I mean, are you surprised that the questions weren't about Trump more, and that they didn't bring Trump up at all?
No, it was a Democratic debate. And, you can, they can always use him as a punching bag.
Right.
But Sanders went into this debate with a mission. Hillary had no mission in this debate. Her mission in the debate was not to lose it, not to come across as angry or strident, and to not turn people off.
Well, she accomplished that, didn't she?
Sanders' mission in the debate was to set up Wall Street and peace as the two issues. Hillary, to some extent, had a mission about gun control, but what happened in this debate was a huge strategic victory for Sanders, in that he made these two issues fundamental in the Democratic debate. Think of it as a second front against Hillary.
Right.
Right now, you're voting for or against Hillary in the Democratic primary based on whether you think she was incompetent and corrupt and lying and all of that. Now there's a second front. You can believe Hillary is pure as the driven snow and vote for Sanders because you disagree with Hillary that Wall Street shouldn't be broken up and that we should have a much more pacifist foreign policy. And boy, that appeals to the core of the Democratic Party big time.
Ed, if her poll numbers go down after this debate, is it going to be harder for her to be likable on the campaign trail?
I don't think so. I think Dick, just what he just said, I think is absolutely correct, that she went in there not to lose the debate and to look like she was in control of her anger and all that kind of stuff, so that she was as relatable as possible for Hillary, whereas Sanders did have absolutely, I agree with Dick, a mission. And I do think that the Democratic Party is much closer to the Bernie Sanders than it is to the Hillary Clinton. And
right.
I think, but in that respect, I think Dick is completely right about the outcome of this debate.
No, but because of your work on the book, I just was wondering if the polls tomorrow show that Dick is correct and that, you know, Bernie obviously won the debate, which I agree with, then does Hillary, you know, is she still able to smile and be likable?
Well, I don't think she's less likable or more likable as a result of this debate.
Right.
I thought she did okay. She did perfectly fine. I mean, she looked good. She, you know, as Dick said, I don't want to repeat everything he said because I'm just sound like an echo here, but she did come across as well prepared.
And it sounds like you think Hillary will be fine tomorrow in the polls, and where Dick does not think so.
No, I think that where Dick's point is, and I agree with this, looking at the debate, that Sanders did himself a huge favor in this debate.
All right, we're going to have to end it there for this hour. Ed Klein, thank you very much, author of Unlikable, The Problem with Hillary Clinton. Dick, stay where you are. We're coming back. We have another hour ahead, folks, with Dick Morris and Rick Unger and more guests and yours truly, Steve Malzberg. We're coming back.